typically when legal concerns come up about whether or not you can keep property that you find, it definitely varies from state to state and city to city, and those topics have come up for a long time. But rarely does the topic of, well, what happens if I find a gun come up legality-wise. Now, what I will say is this hasn't really been a big issue to talk about until recently, because there's a new craze of magnetic fishers out there fishing the waterways of America for metal objects. And very typically, it's a very common thing for them to come up with guns. Some people post it on social media and they show the guns that they're finding while they're magnetic fishing. Some of them finding as many as 4 to 6 guns every time they go out fishing. There seems to be a lot of guns in the water. My guess is a lot of people, especially when it comes to crimes or getting rid of evidence, choose a river, lake, that sort of thing to chuck those guns in. And that's why they're finding all these guns. So let's talk about, if you find a gun, can you keep it? Is it yours? Are you breaking a law if you don't report it? That kind of thing. Well, let's start by saying that as far as nationally, there is not a law. The general rule is finders keepers. Now, when it comes to guns themselves, there is no national law. It's going to come down to state and local things. But there's really only one state that says anything about magnetic fishing at all, and that's North Carolina. In North Carolina, they have a law for magnetic fishing that only licensed archaeologists can do that for artifact reasons. It's a strange thing. It has nothing to do with guns, but the law is there. Outside that, there is really no laws. One might say that the right thing to do would be to tell your local sheriff or your local police about the gun and at least show it to them in the event that might be evidence in a crime. Would probably be the right thing to do, because there could be a lot of really important crimes that could be solved by finding a lot of these guns. And that's typically what you find these people doing when they find them, is they'll turn them over for that sort of reason. But in the end, I think most people just don't know. If you find a gun, can you keep it? And the answer is, yeah, unless you're in North Carolina, you can. Now, obviously, you can find it. If you find a gun in North Carolina, you can keep it too. You just can't find it in the river and keep it, apparently. But outside that, in America and in every state in the union, if you find a gun, yeah, you can keep it. Again, this hasn't been an issue until recently, but there's a lot of guns being found. Just in the last couple of years, a lot of guns out there being found. So, but if you happen to find one, can you keep it? Yeah, you sure can. But I humbly think that the right thing to do is to turn it over, because it may be the key to solving some sort of crime. So there you go. Any thoughts or insights you might have on this? Definitely put it below. If you've ran into this sort of thing or dealt with this, definitely put that below. Love to know about that. But most important part of this channel, we take prayer requests. Never, ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.